Greetings once again, fellow comrades, and welcome to Ethics for an Emerging Nation. We are glad you are here again today, and we believe that it's going to be a wonderful time with each and every one of us who is right here in the studios. And as we expect our other panelists, our guests to come in, I just want to welcome Dr. Chitanta and Mamanka, who are right now in the studios. And I'll hand over the microphone to Mamanka to make her introduction and, of course, greet the people of Amazonia that we have come to this very, very important time again. Mamanka, over to you.
Thank you, Pastor Commando. Thank you. Greetings to everyone home front, our ARFs on home front, our viewers from home front in the diaspora. Today, I'm coming to you not as a host or co-host, but it's going to be very interesting to be a panelist. I'm looking forward to a spirited discussion as ever, even though on the other side. This is Ma Manka. You guys know me from the Bafut LGA. And I am on the panelist today to discuss healthcare ethics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma, for that brief introduction. Without further ado, I will immediately cross over to our regular man in the house, Dr. Titanta, to give us his greetings and, of course, the people of Amazonia. Over to you, Doctor. It's your chance.
Yes, good evening, Comrade Pastor Commander. Good evening, Mamanka. Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. It's a pleasure once more again to be in the show tonight. It is a real privilege. I see these programs that we are holding as a preparatory program, preparing us so that when we finally get to our homeland, it will not be something new to us. So you see yourself, fellow Ambazonians, as preparing yourself to launch into a nation ready to start building. So I am very pleased to be part of this learning and training program. Thank you all. My name is Dr. John Titanta. I'm from Babisi local government area from Gokotunja.
And that was Dr. John Titanta from Ngokatunja, always smiling and with great expectations for what our nation is going to be. Those are the kind of people we are bringing in here to come and talk to us and tell us exactly where we are. And in the studios again with us is no other person but Comrade Peter Tanshi. We'll hand him over the microphone right now, Peter, to go ahead, greet the people of Amazonia, introduce yourself to them, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Over to you.
Good evening, comrades. Good evening to all of us, to all our viewers, either on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Amber TV. You are highly, highly welcome. It's a privilege to be with you again today. Peter Tanshe. I come from the Bamendankwe LGA in the Midland zone. I'm very privileged to be in this show today, which is medical and public ethics, public health ethics. So that's me, and also happy to be with all the panelists, Mamanka, who is our host, Pastor Commando, who is also one of our hosts, and my other panelists, Dr. Titanta. Yeah.
All right. And last but not the least is the man himself, Dr. Tita of the HSS, who is our guest tonight. Comrade Peter, for your information, Madam Manka has joined the crew tonight. She's not a co-host for today, so she is a panelist. So, yeah. So, Dr. Tita, we hand over to you to greet the people of Ambazonia, and then from there, we'll kick off. Over to you.
Greetings, Pastor Commando. Can you hear me?
5 on 5.
Excellent. Greetings, fellow viewers at home and abroad. Greetings, Pastor Commando. Greetings, Mamanka. Greetings, Dr. Titanta. Greetings, Comrade Peter Tanzi. Thank you all for having me here today on the show, Ethics for an Emerging Nation or Country. I call it Ethics for a New Nation, Amazonia. I am extremely happy to be here. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tita. We will be very pleased to hear from you as you join us today. I would like Comrade Peter to give us a brief summary of what we discussed last week. Let's be a bit conscious that our time has been taken off by the last program. We didn't close on time, so we should be rushing. And it appears Mamanka is on the way, so we want to. Okay, no, it's online. Okay, now, Comrade Peter, go ahead and give us the summary for last week.
Okay, our summary for last week. Our topic last week was ethics in media, and we considered media to be the internet, social media, the broadcasts, TV and audio, films, marketing. And we had it in two parts. The ethics in media as it is now, which ethics should we apply to media now, which will help this decolonization process of ours. We know that the social media, the information there is something like as high as 80% false. So which ethics should we apply in this type of situation, which will help us in this our process, decolonization process? So the ethics we should apply should be that we actively debunk all lies or all false information that we get immediately. So the example given last week was, take for example, in which somebody said he took a deal from the CDC and gave to our president, Dr. Sako, which we have to debunk that because there was no proof and that was done effectively. The other one was third parties which were putting out results there that who were not part of the IG, that those were audits of IG proving false. So again, ethically, we should really be debunking that, or else it's going to really put out false information there and destroy our decolonization process as it is. So so that's how we should do that at this level. And then the other bit that we looked was ethics when we arrive Buea, and there should be awareness training for all the media that is in broadcast, internet, social media, marketing, and the masses as a whole. There would be a regulatory body to monitor this and ensure that these with ethical values are adhered to. So without going into details, this was a broad approach. We had a broad brush. We had a guest, nobody than our SOS Dr. Amungwa, who gave a short presentation on ethical values in the media, how it would be organized when we reach Boya, and how it would be monitored. He also gave examples of ethical behavior that they were using now to debunk some of these lies by the some former IG members. So, in a nutshell, that is what we discussed last week as a summary of ethics in the media. Over to you, Pastor Commando.
Hello, he's frozen. Is he frozen? Yes, he is. Yeah, he is frozen.
Maybe he is speaking and we are not getting him. Yeah.
I don't. Hello, Pastor. Okay, we might have to continue.
Maybe you have to play the role. Yeah, you have to play two roles now.
So we might have to continue until we can bring him back in. At some point, he is going to realize that he's not hearing us and we are not hearing him, and he will come back. So today, I'm going to temporarily step in from a panelist role to a co-host role so that we can continue to discuss ethics, medical ethics, medical and public ethics for an established nation as Dr. Tita already said. I'm going to answer this phone call from Commando, who is frozen. And so I'm going to silence you guys for a second. I want you guys to know he's calling to let me know that I should take on, and we should move on until he finds a way back in. So let's move on. Today we are going to talk about ethics, medical and public health ethics. That is our topic for today. To be able to talk about this, I'm supposed to be a panelist, but I'm also acting as co-host, and I'm going to present to you guys, or to on this particular topic, the role of government in medical and public health ethics. What do we expect when we, Ambazonian government, arrive Boya? What is expected of us? Our role in medical ethics and public health. So, government has a responsibility. What kind of responsibility does the government have in healthcare? The major role is creating policies, implementing these policies, making information available to the public so that the public will make good informed decisions for themselves and protect the people from harm, promote health, and create environments that support healthy behaviors. So I'm going to start the first one, number one. How does government making policies and enforcing policies that would ensure ethical behavior in medicine? For instance, and public health, let's take, for instance, the tobacco industry. At first, here I'm going to give an example in the United States where government had to come up with a policy that all tobacco products, they have to be written on it what would happen to you if you smoke. And the public, and they went out on a massive education of the public with commercials on TV showing how somebody who smoked ended up with a throat cancer and how it affected them. So as Ambazonians, we are going to write policies when we get to Buea to make sure that if all these type of products that are coming into our country, or if somebody is manufacturing or going around selling a product like a ginseng, they have to write labels on it indicating that those products are what they can actually do for, if they will help you or they will harm you. Another issue that is taking place right now is the use of herbicides and pesticides. When you go back home right now, I did talk this one now for Mami them. Mami them, when I work farm for country, all man don't decide, say, they no go to weed that grass, they go buy that chemical, they can pour them for that grass because it be easy. When I see say cancer be on a high rise right now for we country. Now because of the use of these type of products, and now because government no dey enforce that kind policy, where it go tell when I me educate, when I say when I know how we will be grow chop in those days, people they know be the oversee. That chop when you spray that herbicide, it go down for ground. That plant where you plant them, it go absorb am. You self you go chop. You go sell some for market. Now the reason that way you see now cancer there on the rise. La Republic government no care. They not even discuss this one. No man no. So today they here for tell when I say for we new country Ambazonia, we the government now who? Now all we. So that means the government go implement, write these policies, educate the population so that they go know, they go protect themselves and their families. The other important thing that the government, or rather, I'm going to revert back. I'm going to be going between pidgin and regular English. So that means that the second key role that government does is to protect individuals from preventable harm caused by other groups and unhealthy environments. Let's take an example. Caused by other groups. If when I look for country, when I see say China, it bring in all kind products then. They open, I want to when I say for America, the products where they enter for this country, they be completely different from the products where they sell them for we for Africa. And the reason now why we government, they know they sign contract with these people. They know they even go in for investigate for see say the thing the way they promise say they go bring now the correct one. So that means say when we there for Ambazonia, when we don't establish we country, we go make sure say before we sign contract with any foreign government, we go make sure say the thing the way they bring them in, they not go affect we health. Me, I don't go home where me I see they sell rice when a plastic. Wait to happen where we know the grow wind up rice. We menchum rice. The rice where will be grow for down there, menchum and fondop. Now he be the healthiest. You know they even see that one safe any longer. So I dey encourage say make we get for love we selves. If we no love, deny for buy that product from China. So that me they when they no succeed for sell them for we, they go carry them come out. And meetups on Chinese speaking for here. Where when I tell you say I come out for Ambazonia, he scream. He tell me say he comes, he never chop rice where it test like that rice where they grow am fondo. Wait till that one tell una. Now Chinese. But it tell me say we get the best rice. But what we do? We that stupid government where they for they don't go sign contract. They bring we harmful products. The other thing where another example now like the mosquitoes and pesticides, mosquito infestation and alcohol. We go see for country where government supposed for educate the population. Me they know say when you drink alcohol, you no go drive. Wait till it happen. Driver they go drink alcohol. Talk say they drink for clear eye. When we all know say research shows say that alcohol no dey clear your eye. When you drink, you no go be able for drive well. Wait till we see. We see say government no it instead allow make we import chicken. That chicken where would the important now chicken where it be na reject. Now either they use them for feed fish for their country. They can't sell them for we. We they take that chicken, it make cause we heart disease. So government go write policies, they go implement policies, they go educate the population so that we know. Wait till the other thing where government get for do. When you go for country, government action is often even in immunizations. They get for educate immunizations. When I be there young, so now government become do immunizations. We government need to make sure say the type immunization where they come with them for come give we now good immunizations. We safe right now we see say the Chinese immunization for against COVID it no work. Even for their own country now, COVID don't come back with a vengeance. Why? Because their vaccine be substandard. Wait till happen. They give them for we. We take they take them. They sign contract with them. They give them. We carry that kind of vaccine. Where would they give them for we people? So those type of things. When I be there young at the grow, they be the add fluorine for water. Why? It be the help we with teeth. We know say we be get a lot of goiter in those days. You go see person with that thing for a neck. They be the add iodine. Right now, we get iodine salt. I know if you talk the one pass, where I not gonna mention about government building good hospitals. Not only building good hospitals, but equipping those hospitals. It makes no sense where government go build hospital. First of all, it not even building or anything. And then it take doctor put on for day, get equipment. It be not like you just give man work, and then give it the tools where you go do the work, and then we did it with the complaint say the doctor they know if you do work. You go for hospital, no laboratory equipment. People that they use waiting for do sterilization. You go, pharmacy, they tell you say na pharmacy you enter, medication no day. So mean say when Ambazonia established, we go build. When you go for the talk say na government hospital get for compete with the private hospital. So that all man no go dey run. The man will no get money. If he still go for government hospital, he get good quality care. Because the hospital will be the same standard like the private one. So that most people, they don't go even see reason why they must go for private hospital again. Also, government get for make sure, say they provide enough educational institutions where they train the personnel, where they go come out work. They need and for all these hospitals, they where they go to bill. So that means say we go train with personnel, we go bring the equipment, we go train them on the use of the equipment, and then we go establish policies where they call them for here now quality assurance. so that we go come in, we look for make sure say all the measures where we put them, where government put them, we reach them. So I go end for here. When with it, and then I'll hand over back to Commando if he is in. If he is
Yes,
not
I'm
in,
in. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
uh,
Manka, for that explicit explanation. Ambazonians, we will understand, say, these faith projections, where I call them faith projection in my language, where be the plan where this particular department of the interim government, it don't become projector, so that make all we where we dey for Ambazonia and for diaspora, more begin get ready. Yes, this is the tip of the iceberg of which way be happen before the imperialists they take we over and then try for use we like guinea pig them and like slaves. But we be very grateful. Say not too long now, it go happen. All right. Without any waste of time, we will hand over to Comrade Peter Tianche for tell we ethical principles. Remember today we dey talk on the medical ethics. We have talked on other ethics of other departments and other parts of our doing. Today with the measure on medical ethics. So we'll ask our comrade Peter for tell we about the principles for medical practitioners, how they fit and how they go about and which way would they anticipate in Ambazonia. Over to you, sir, Dr. Peter. I mean, Comrade Peter.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you again. Just for situate the situation, this talk now three parts. Our panelist Mamanka talk on the part of where the government will do ethical things where government will do so that me medical and public health ethics whole. I would talk for the part where the service providers or the practitioners them where to be their own part where they will get for act medically for let make things then go. So now my own part that they talk on the professionals. And now who be these professionals? This one are the pharmacists, the doctors, the nurses, the radiographers, the lab technicians, the medical scientists. These providers, we call them now the people they be on the other side of providing. So what do we expect from them when we reach the what we will do? When we start with pharmacy, presently we get pharmacies and we get something where they call them pattern medicine store. We appreciate the fact say pharmacies they no fit dey for all part because for some part them they be too small. We sometimes that pharmacies no dey, but they allow things like pattern medicine store. So for we when we reach, we'll do what we will do now. Say, we'll do we will encourage and these pharmacies and pattern medicine store. Maybe they must put their medicine them for two parts and we'll monitor them. That one be say one way something where they call and say over the counter and some other one way prescription drug. That is, if doctor never write say me they say you some medicine, then that pharmacist or that professional no sell them. But over the counter now one way the government will do the classification and anybody can come in and buy that one without the doctor's prescription. This one would hold both in the pharmacies and in this pattern medicine store. And we would make that is we encourage them to make sure that they are qualified people or courses will be provided for these pattern medicine store to be able to do to serve the public, to be this good provider, ethical good provider. So if you know be trained, do and then the people where they would work they have to be trained for that too. And we'll give them the appropriate license for that. So we'll move that one have been a pharmacies and pattern medicine stores. We'll move to the next one. That is the doctors, the nurses, the radiographers, the lab technicians, medical scientists, all these other ones. We know say some of the things where they happen now for we country where they know where they just give a blind eye on say they never train the people and say some of these people them they no be polite to patients at all. They no be polite. They be um so we would encourage them. We encourage them may they be polite to patients. They'll be very caring towards patients and they will know may they not be rude. May they not be rude for patients and may they not raise their voice when they talk for patient. They make the patient be comfortable where if he discuss with him, give him more information for them. So that one I think we will encourage them. And then the other one all patients where they come treat them fairly. Treat all patients fairly. No look someone no look na a hand back before you know how you treat he or a shoe or na a cap way wear them or way whether you get some feather for the all right. So treat all man fairly and equally the same way they come through you. So no discrimination. That one fine. So in the first place, we know say some of these the medical world, being the medical world are two things. First, either you are there to make a living if you are employed, or you are there if you are running a private hospital, you are running a business, so you are there to make a profit. So and then the other business say you care for people. So you get for strike a good balance between where you are making a profit and secondly a good balance because you are caring for people. So don't only think of the profit and don't think of the care you're giving to people. So and that's where that emphasizing the above how you should be very you should treat the patients with care and with no abuse and no rudeness. So be aware we would do that so that these providers should do that very well to the patients who are coming. One other thing is when you are talking to patients, they will give you some information which is like their personal information, some is private information. Make sure that you protect this information, keep it protected so that next time or more they will be more confident to talk to you. So keep their information provided. No, don't go and discuss it with other people or in off licenses and all that. Um, and the other one is the abuse of patients comes in many forms. So one of the things we are thinking is if a special some special process which would be named are to be performed on a patient, and then another health professional of opposite sex would be present in order so that they know that in that case no such some abuses could not go on. So if um, this case is like if if the doctor is a female and that process is to be performed on a man, the patient is a man, then I'm just giving an example, then a third person who is a female should be present. That is opposite sex to the patient. That's just what I'm saying, just to avoid abuse and the other and vice versa, really. Um, one other one other thing is we know it's reminder. These are things, but we would encourage that in yearly internal medical ethics awareness training, which is a reminder, should always take place in all staff, both in government and private hospitals, just to remind them of what they have so to do medically. And then the other part, I think this is the part Mamanka has already mentioned. Um, the regulatory body that will be there, yeah, we would encourage other professionals and even patients to whistle blow to this regulatory body. If you think your colleague is doing something unethical, you whistle blow to this ethical body so that the ethics should stay on and should be maintained at a high level, and that body will be regulating these various health, monitor them to make sure they are ethical in one form or the other. So in a brief summary, these are our ambitions and intentions that we will do for the medical practitioners to do ethically to keep to keep this ethics in medicine and public health. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Comrade Peter. Yes, we are moving and we are working towards the T-Day. This will be implemented in our land, and having people like you who are educating ourselves on what is going to happen. I believe that Ambazonians are listening. Okay, over to you, Dr. Titanta. You have the podium right now. Can you go ahead and tell us your role? I mean, what the personal role is going to be in this ethical or medical ethics.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Commando. Yes, Mamanka and Comrade Tansi, thank you guys for that elaborate explanation on the role of the government and the practitioners in setting up a medical ethical society. So the government and the practitioners, the government and the caregivers will not be there if the people are not there. And the people actually, the people Ambazonia consider itself as the key part to all of these things we are talking about. If you are not there, the government will not be there. If you are not there, the doctors, the pharmacists, the chemists, they will not be there. So government can put up rules, but if the people are not there to give feedback, if people are not there to say whether those rules are working well, those rules are appropriate, then it will not go well. There is a saying that the government every people have is a reflection of the kind of people that make up the society. A people that is aware, a people that is well informed will always have a very good government. So we are calling on us, Ambazonian, to be very vigilant in every aspect. As we talked last week was about medical ethics. The other time, sometimes we talk about ethics in other fields, and which the role of the people is always very important. So my focus is going to be on the role of the people in setting up an ethical, medically sound society. First of all, the people need to know that they have rights. And they need to know their rights. They need to know that they have the right. It will be inscribed in our fundamental law that people have the right to have the best treatment possible. I know we are coming out of La République where that notion of having medical right, we are not aware. I don't think that thing exists in La République. But this is going to be a reality in Ambazonia, where people know that they have the right for the best treatment possible. Also, they also have the right to refuse treatment. They have the right for the right information concerning treatments. They have the right, in case of any malpractice, medical malpractice by a physician on them, to report. They have the right to sue and press charges on any caregiver that misuses them. We have the right. The other thing that I will talk about is the role of the people is the people should know where to go for medical care. Don't go to any person that you see you see them carrying something, calling themselves doctors on the road. Our people will be expected to go only to government accredited bodies or people. Right now in La Republic of Cameroon, any kind of person can set up something along the road and call it a clinic. Any kind of person can carry something on the head, some fake drugs, and walk along the street, and people are taking it. And we don't understand why that the life expectancy in our country is so low, because these things are leading to death that people don't even understand. These things are leading to paralysis that people don't, some kind of sicknesses that people don't understand. So these things shall be seriously frowned in. We would expect us to report when we see this kind of thing in society. The people are the ones. One time, I remember in one of the programs, we said that the people should act like the eye of the government, the eye of the society. So, one, the people need to know that they have rights. Two, the people need to know that they should go for medical care only to government accredited bodies. And three, voluntary medical activities when and wherever possible. For example, some special medical campaign about some new emerging disease that may come up might have, especially that will dispatch into different localities to give training to the people. When such an event is coming up, we will advise our people to go out en masse and be informed and be educated. We know that in the former West Cameroon, we used to have in clinic, I know for women, they used to be every month there was at least once a month where women were convoked to a local maternity for some training about child care and child health. Those things we would encourage and develop more, and not only to include women, but to include everybody, men, to sensitize men about issues that concern men, like for.
I don't know what is happening. Sometimes, doctor.
This can lead
Okay.
to some kind of sicknesses. So we would expect our people to be educated on these things, and we expect our people to participate in those educations. Come out en masse. Hygiene. Sanitary officers, we expect our people to cooperate when people come in. Sanitary officers are there for your well-being. So these are all ethical aspects that people can contribute in, participate in. Also, we expect our people to report when they notice unethical treatment. Let me say you go to the hospital and a doctor just treat you rudely, or a nurse talk to you very rudely, or a doctor gives you a wrong treatment because you are aware that this is not the right treatment I'm supposed to get. You have the right to report that. That's unethical. You have the right to, or you go to a hospital and somebody, one of the practitioners is asking you money, which you know is not allowed. That is unethical, and you must be confident to take that matter up, and it will be followed. You must trust the system set in place that they will not pay a close ear to that situation. It will be monitored, it will be followed up, and you will be protected while you act that whistleblowing tendency. So also, we would expect our people, to also appreciate our doctors, appreciate our family, because we expect all Ambazonia family to have a family doctor, family practitioner, and which will become almost like part of your family. They know your situation very well. So when you appreciate them, let them know that you appreciate the work they are doing. In the same way, the doctors, it will be reciprocal. So these are all things that will encourage a nation to really function in symbiosis, in unison, in beauty. So the people have a great role to play in setting up an ethical medical society. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Doctor, for that education for the individual patients to know their rights. That is what has not been enjoyed in in La Republique. Yeah, you are at the mercy of any of some of the health practitioners who are very rude, and very unprofessional. Especially in this generation where money is valued more than the health of the people. You know, you get into a medical facility, you are asked to pay some money before you are even seen, especially in emergency cases. Some people die on the emergency table. And of course, when you die on the emergency table back in La Republique, you still have to pay the doctor for dying in his presence. All right, we're going to cross over to Dr. Tita. But before we go to Dr. Tita, there is an article that he actually sent in that we should bring it to your notice and to your attention. So we will crave your indulgence, all of us, to patiently and quietly listen to this before he comes in to share with us actually what he has on this subject matter of how do you call it? Medical ethics. We are limiting everything we have today to medical ethics. And listen now. Let's go over.
Good day, fellow Ambazonians. I am Dr. Kane from the Department of Health and Social Services, the Directorate of Healthcare Policies here in the interim government. So I want to present to you today the healthcare system of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia and how we're going to manage that in the future. And I also want to present to you that we will be having one of the best healthcare system in Africa. So our vision is that we want a healthcare system which we know every citizens of Ambazonia and residents are entitled to. This will be free in public clinics and hospitals. That people will be able to have coverage. It doesn't matter their medical history, personal income, or standard of living. So it is the constitutional right of every Ambazonian. Now I want to show you an overview of the healthcare system. What are the things that I want to talk about here? We'll look at the different levels of care. We'll look at the financing and developing a universal care healthcare system. We'll look at how we can allocate healthcare based on population. Then we're going to move on to look how a community healthcare will look like, how a primary healthcare at the level of the AGAs will look like, how the secondary healthcare, the county levels will look at like, how the tertiary healthcare and the regions, like teaching hospitals, they will look like, and also our much more sophisticated next generation hospitals. Levels of healthcare system, we've got different levels. If you start at the bottom, starting from your household, families, individuals, you have things like dispensary clinics within the community. That's what the government wants to establish. Looking at healthcare system, maternities, aged care, within the LGAs, that's what the government wants to establish. Even in the LGAs, you start talking about the primary hospital. Then you move on to the counties, secondary hospitals, you move on to the regions, right? We've got 3 regions. We've got the grassland, we've got the midland, and we've got the equatoria. So we have really massive hospitals, which are teaching hospitals, training centers in these 3 regions. Then the more sophisticated, advanced, conventional, next generation hospital, that's what we are going to also have. This is more sophisticated because it provides opportunity for people, instead of flying overseas, to go and get treatment, like some African leaders overseas, they will come to our next generation hospital. How do we control this? Starting from the dispensary and the healthcare, you've got the community governance structure, so the community will control their healthcare. Then the clinical governance will be involved in both primary and the secondary healthcare control. And then the more sophisticated, advanced system which means we've got the teaching hospitals, we've got and the next generation hospital. We will have what we call the healthcare continuum governance. So we'll have policies that will be guiding all this system. All right. Now, how are we going to finance the healthcare system? Because people will say, okay, this is more sophisticated, but how are we going to finance it? We're going to finance it by, first of all, we have to understand that for countries to successfully provide a good healthcare system for the population, the country needs to spend between 10 to 15% of its GDP. That means you have to, the population growth also needs to be considered. Increase adjustments annually, including the cost of living and adjustments for healthcare staff, those who are taking care of people, of Ambazonian, and also consumables and expenditures will need to be taken into consideration, especially inflation, because the population will change over time. Then also, we have decided that, look, we want every corner of Ambazonia, whether it's village, whether it's town or wherever, which community we need to get healthcare will come and reach those people. Not you going to look for healthcare, the healthcare will come to you. So what we have decided to do is that we have mapped out the entire Ambazonian area, and we were able to come up with this ratio that for every square kilometers, which I've tried to explain it down here, you have 74 people. So for that 74 people, we can forecast, know how many doctors that can be there, pharmacists, nurses, practitioners, and medical scientists will be required in a square kilometer, which is just 1,000 squares. 1,000 square just means 1,000 times 1,000 within that area. So that's what it is. How are this going to look like? How do you think this will look like? So these are the community clinics. These are how we want our community clinics. You can see an ambulance car there, just very, very basic community hospital.